two monster men.
Two morons. That's us. No. Digging in. Here.
Okay. So, what would you like to talk about today?
I would like to talk about movies we can watch.
Okay.
In fact, I'd like to talk about
Why we have an arrangement of movies here.
And you can't borrow any of them. They're mine. I'm thinking about 10 ghost movies you should watch before you are an actual ghost.
Let me tell you this. If I go before you, you're going to know if there's an afterlife because I swear I will come back and haunt you.
I hope you do. I hope you haunt my taint. There's somebody talking in my taint.
I got to say that wasn't the first thing I had in mind, but...
That's where I hope you end up. Right in that dirty part of my underpants.
It's a residual haunting.
We have a perfect beer for this episode.
Yes.
Maybe not. It could be crappy, but it's named perfectly. It is called Fear of Ghosts from Stillwater. It's Stillwater Artisanal Beer, Smoked Sour Farmhouse Wheat Ale. Only 6% alcohol by volume, so this might be... It's really sweaty. Jesus Christ.
I'm afraid this is good.
This is sweatier than my friend Tony in the friggin'...
this feels like one of those beers you overpay for.
Bunny Ranch.
It tastes like garbage.
So anyway, I bought this from a beer concierge.
Concierge.
Oh, look at it. It's very clear. You know what this is? This is as clear as your pee when you've been drinking all night.
There's not a ton of uric acid in this.
By the way, this is the episode after the pumpkin ale episode. So
here's some other pumpkin ale I've got.
You could probably drive a spike through us and we'd say, oh, cool spike, dude.
Wow, look at that.
Oh, way too much head.
This is definitely the most yellow.
It's very clear. It doesn't smell good?
It doesn't smell good, but it's so different.
Well, that's why I bought it, because I thought it might be repulsive. Like, usually when the label is so cool and has great artwork, it sucks.
That's so true.
It's overcompensating.
It's like the wines we had. Zombies Infidels, the coolest label ever, and it tastes like cloven hoof.
That was terrible. You know what? It doesn't smell that bad.
It's just different from the pumpkin ale.
Yes, there was
no
like
lemony thing going on.
There were no spices or, this is, what did I say this was? 6% alcohol.
Let me see this one.
It's not that bad.
I gotta take a picture of this.
Take a pic. While you take a picture, I'm gonna put some cheese in a nacho.
That's nacho cheese.
There goes a nice dark picture.
This is a terrible picture.
It's hard. The bottle is really sweaty. It's a humid day here in New York, New York.
We're giving away Dark Dossier magazine, so if you are the
7th. I'm going 7th. Let's do 7th.
No. This is what you're going to have to do.
Oh.
Go to our Facebook page. You have to write 5 ghost movies that you love. On our I'm going to post this.
Oh, snap!
You got to reply to the post about when I post this on Facebook. Hey, here's the new Monster Man. You got to write, here are 5 ghost movies I love. And if you're the first person,
you win. But you only win it if when we reach out to you, you actually respond and tell us where to send it.
Exactly.
We can't magically figure out where you live. Hopefully you live in the continental United States.
Oh, yeah. You got to live. Let's get real here, people.
If you live in España, you ain't getting any on you.
Continental USA.
All right. Here, cheers. Here's to ghosts.
This tastes like lemonade.
It tastes like a shandy. You asked about a shandy before. This is what a shandy is. This is like a Leinenkugel. Like a summer lemon shandy.
This tastes more like lemon than like beer.
Well, it said it's sour. It's sour farmhouse wheat ale.
It's like Sour Patch Kids. Are drunk. It tastes like
Crusty Kevin.
Drunk Sour Patch Kids.
Alright, that's as good as I thought it would be.
Great. I'm going to switch over to this pumpkin ale now. And let's.
I will continue drinking this. Alright, here, I just came up with a list of 10 ghost movies I think are essential. If you're going to pick 10, these are the 10. This is my opinion. It's not the opinion of Steven Spielberg, Robert Wise.
You have a pretty good opinion about this. I have not heard these.
He hasn't, actually.
So I will chime in with my disagreement or additions to this list.
Okay. I will go with one of my favorites right off the bat, The Haunting by Robert Wise, 1964-ish? It's going off the top of my head. That has been the blueprint of a lot of horror ghost
Is this
movies
number 10 or number 1?
It doesn't matter. There's no order.
Because for me, I thought this would be your number 1.
This would be my number 1, which is why I thought of it first.
Okay.
Who's number 1 here? You've seen it, right?
Yeah.
It does a lot with sound, just sound, really, atmosphere and sound. And it shows you don't need a lot of CGI except maybe a breathing door to convey absolute terror.
If you take this and the remake, it's like everything right and everything wrong with making a horror movie.
They are a perfect juxtaposition of right and wrong. And that's why a book by Shirley Jackson.
Yeah, I never read the book. Is the book good?
Phenomenal. Shirley Jackson was an incredible writer. The Haunting. Number 2 on my list, but not necessarily number 2. Poltergeist. The original, not Poultrygeist, with the haunted turkey.
The great thing about this movie, one of the first horror movies that really had comedy in it, but it wasn't a comedy movie.
Well, yeah, because they had to let steam out. That's why. Directed by Tobe Hooper from Texas Chainsaw Massacre, but everybody swears Steven Spielberg said he was incompetent, he took over, but that's bullcrap because Tobe Hooper and Steven Spielberg worked together many years after. So he was incompetent, he wouldn't have hired him to do Amazing Stories and other shows afterwards. So you can forget those rumors, throw them away. Tobe Hooper, rest in peace, was a very capable director.
Jill Beth Williams.
Coach.
She's so great in this movie, and I had such a crush on her.
Did you really?
Yeah, I thought she was beautiful.
See, I never had the Joe Beth Williams crush. At that time, maybe Lydia Cornell from Too Close for Comfort. Was that what she was on?
Yeah.
I mean, yeah, that was. And Deborah Van Valkenburg.
Cosmic Cow. Mr. Rush.
Jack had a big crush on Jim J. Bullock. It was Jim J, but there wasn't an I in his name. Wasn't it JM?
I don't know.
It was something ridiculous. Jim J. Bullock.
To me, I was always like, wow, Ted Knight's on another show.
Yeah, that's why we loved the show back then.
And then the brunette was in The Warriors.
Yes. She was in a lot of movies, believe it. I mean, she was a little hottie herself. But Lydia Cornell?
Yeah, where's Lydia Cornell now?
Still in my dreams.
She needs to be in Chiller.
Buddy, still in my dreams. Okay, you ready number 3?
Hit me.
George C. Scott.
Oh,
The Changeling.
this is a good movie. I watched this a couple of years ago.
It's one of the best haunted horror movies ever made. I mean, he's a guy who lost his son, his wife, and his child in a car accident. He's living in this giant mansion. He's a music teacher and a musician, and it's scary.
There's a bouncing ball thing that goes on in this movie.
Anytime you see a bouncing ball pop into a movie, The Changeling started it.
This is one of those movies that I hadn't seen since the 80s.
Mm-hmm.
Watched it again a couple of years ago because we do the Horror-tober marathon. And it was just like, wow. Wow, this movie holds up. Actually, I probably like it better now than I did when I first saw it.
It's phenomenal. Well, we can appreciate what went into it.
Yeah.
And the fact that we're jaded and are still creeped out by it.
Yeah.
And George C. Scott.
Who's not quite as angry as he is in Exorcist 3. Or Firestarter.
Which, Exorcist 3, you can make a valid argument to say it's better than The Exorcist.
No.
I think you can. Anyway. But that's what's missing from today's horror movies is they very rarely put someone with gravitas in a horror movie.
Right.
Like Ghost Story, Peter Straub's Ghost Story.
Oh my God.
Should have made my list but didn't.
Fred Astaire.
Yeah, it's just, that is just right.
Wow. Ghost Story didn't make this list. Ghost Story is a...
That's the bonus. Ghost Story is the bonus.
Ghost Story is the bonus. You should watch it.
There we go.
How's that book?
It's great. Peter Straub is an amazing writer. Number 4, Paranormal Activity. Which to me is creepy. I remember when we watched that, my wife had a hard time falling asleep for a few nights. even well, we live in a haunted house, so it didn't help.
I saw that in the theater, and unfortunately, I saw it like in a matinee, so there weren't a lot of people, and I kept thinking this would have been so much better with a lot of people in the room.
I can't remember if we saw it with a lot or a little. It was just very effective to us. It was early on. It wasn't. We weren't so jaded to found footage movies.
I think it's a decent movie. I wish that's like one of those ones I wish they had consulted with me. I'm like, I could have
come to me
had a couple of suggestions. Like, you know, when you write a book, sometimes I pre-read them for you.
Right.
I'm like, what if this happened here? You're like, oh, okay.
Exactly.
It's like you have a really good thing, and you just need another set of eyes on it for a second.
That's why I come to Jack.
Like that movie, I'm like, there was a couple of things like right at the end. I'm like, oh, Jesus. But overall, I actually like. I think it's the third one.
The third one, we saw that together.
Is that the one with the fan?
The fan. That was really good. That series is odd numbers are better than the evens. So 1, 3, and 5 are good.
I never saw the marked ones.
It's all right. It's all right. It's nothing to write home about. Okay, number 5. Even though it's bullcrap, the Amityville Horror.
For the original.
Original James Brolin, Margot Kidder.
Not the Ryan Reynolds one.
Margot Kidder looking like Courtney Cox.
Yeah.
There's some times where they look like doppelgangers in that movie. And Rod Steiger
as the priest. So here's a little trivia. My sister's friend Liz, her grandparents, they didn't film the movie in the actual house.
No. On Ocean Avenue.
They filmed it somewhere else. And the next door neighbors of the house was my sister's friend Liz's grandparents' house. So, unless I have my facts wrong, they use their shovel or something like that in the movie. Like they borrowed a shovel.
Really?
So you can see my sister's friend's grandparents' house next door to their house.
Oh, no way.
So I had a connection to this movie, but
I went to their house this summer. I went to the actual house.
I drove by it like 10 years ago.
It's very small.
And the windows are square now.
Yeah, they changed the windows. Like, that's going to fool anybody. Hello, the internet's here.
Those poor people, not poor, but...
Well, they do have... Yeah, they're not poor if they're living there, but they do have signs about loitering and private property and stuff like that. But the house next door was for sale. Oh. And I wished I had the money, because I would have bought that sucker.
That's what you want, is the house next door.
Because to me, forget about the red room and that stuff. The fact that a whole family... The murder mystery of the DeFeos is far more fascinating than the haunted story that comes afterwards.
And anytime around Halloween, there's 100... shows where they interview DeFeo, and his story changes from...
Yeah, he's a mess.
He's a mess.
I've been around enough messes to know what's up with him.
But that's a good haunted house movie.
It's a great one.
The Red Room is great in that.
Oh my god. It's still scary. It's still creepy.
When he falls through the stairs into the blood or whatever.
Paint.
Because when that movie came out, all I could think about was the Red Room. I was reading. Right. I was like, what's up with the Red Room? The Red Room, the Red Room.
No, that's a slick movie. Number 6, The Entity, which is one of the only movies about a woman being raped and molested by a ghost.
That's the one. I was trying to think of this movie.
It's really good.
I'm trying to think of movies to watch in October.
Do I have it? I might have it over here. Go ahead, talk.
I want to watch that one. I haven't seen it in a billion years.
Here we go. It's right here.
Excellent.
Barbara Hershey.
Barbara Hershey. I'm borrowing this. We're watching this after we.
This is a great movie. And Ron Silver is in it.
Ron Silver.
Because he's trying to help her out.
From Time Cop.
It's terrifying. This is because this is based on a true story.
I love that you have this on Blu-ray.
Unlike the Amityville Horror, where the true story has been completely debunked, the story of The Entity, where this was supposedly really happening and being studied by a university, has not been debunked.
Really?
And I dare you to prove me wrong.
Plus Barbara Hershey.
Barbara Hershey, exactly.
She's
later was in Insidious.
Yeah, she deserves a plaque. She's Hall of Fame.
She is.
Nice, good call.
That's a good one.
I'm borrowing this.
Yeah. Or we'll watch it later.
You don't trust me.
Another one is based on a Richard Matheson book, starring Roddy McDowall.
Oh.
The Legend of Hell House.
First of all, the end of Fright Night was on the other night. Roddy McDowall is so great in that movie. So Evil Ed turns into a wolf, and then he gets staked. And Roddy McDowell's watching him die, and there's this like half like sadness and half horrified thing that he's like, oh, and then the same thing happens like in the house, and I'm like, Roddy McDowell has got this layered performance that movie is so fun and great and whatever. I go, but he doesn't get enough credit. Roddy McDowell brings something. He's a veteran.
Yeah.
He's good at what he does.
Practice makes perfect.
And he's great. So I watched that movie, Hell House, a couple of years ago.
It's a good movie.
And I'm just like, oh yeah, this was one of those movies that when you were like 10 years old, scared the hell out of you.
Right.
Like I couldn't go to sleep at night from that.
Because this is people ghost hunting with modern stuff in the late 60s, early 70s in this haunted house. Read the book. The book is very sexual. It's depraved. The book is depraved. Richard Matheson, one of the best writers of all time.
I Am Legend.
In any genre. Twilight Zone, Night Stalker. I mean, what he did was just unbelievable. But check out The Legend of Hell House. It's on demand. You can find it.
Oh, if you're watching haunted house movies, this is like, that's probably the one to start with.
Yeah. Number 8. Here's one. I don't know if you saw this. The Lady in White with Lucas Haas.
I saw that like in the, what is that, the 80s?
Have you ever seen a dream walking?
I think I saw that once, so I don't even remember much about it.
Katherine Hellman, who was in Who's the Boss, is in it.
She was from Soap.
Soap. Here's the scene that gets me. Lucas Haas is locked in the school classroom, and he's in the cubby room. And as he's sitting there at night, a ghost comes into the room. It's terrifying. Terrifying. One of the best haunted ghost movies.
I haven't seen that in years.
Alex Rocco was in it. He plays his dad. There's a lot of familiar faces in it. It's part mystery, part ghost movie. But just watch it. Crap! Just watch it for Lucas Haas being trapped in the cubby. It's worth it. This damn dragon, the wings are too high.
Stop dragging my heart around.
Tom Petty.
Tom Petty.
Number 9, The Innocents.
I didn't even know this one.
This is a British movie based on the, oh my god, the taming of the, oh my god, I can't. We've been drinking. Taming of the Shrew, Turning of the Screw.
The Shmoo.
It's the Herculoids. It's
from the fantastic to the fantastic.
Igu. I'm trying to be. Oh god.
Here's a reference for you.
Hanna-Barbera. We
Herculoids.
This was it's creepy. It's Victorian. It's 2 British kids. There's nothing creepier than possessed British kids. Watch it. If you haven't seen it.
I haven't seen it.
Black and white. If you can't handle black and white, I feel sorry for your soul.
You're black, you're white. Yeah.
I did Bee Gees earlier. You should.
Oh,
use the Bee Gees. I hit the note. So check out The Innocents. Great movie. The last one, I was on the fence with this, but it is a ghost movie. The Shining.
It is a ghost. How haunted house? Ghost.
Haunted hotel. The Stanley Hotel is on my list, my bucket list of places to go to. And because I was thinking, I'm like, he's a haunted man, but no, there were ghosts all throughout the hotel. So,
I recently I was like organizing my keys for the house, and I got a room 237 key for everything.
That's funny.
Yeah, listen, The Shining is. It's so funny how, like, when you talk to non-horror fans, they all love The Shining, and they're all so scared of it. And I'm like, I was not scared of The Shining when I watched it. I thought it was a good movie.
I wasn't. Well, I couldn't be scared as a kid, but we scared my mother and sister when we saw it. Because we saw it in Rhode Island in some little tiny 10-seat theater. And then we had to drive in these back roads with no lights. And I kept doing Tony in the back seat. My mother smacked me in the mouth.
They had a commercial for that movie, though, where they would show the trailer, and they would play like a...
with the car driving up and stuff.
And then they would like show him like walking with the limp with the axe. That was one of the scariest trailers I've ever seen.
I will tell you a funny story. Now, The Shining's been out since, what, 82? They're like right around early 80s. I assumed everybody's seen The Shining, so one day we go to my mother-in-law's house, and she's there with her boyfriend. They've been together forever. So they're watching The Shining. So Scatman Crothers comes on. And
Voice of Hong Kong Phooey.
Exactly. And I think he was in his place down in Florida with the dude-girl pictures. And I just blurted out, like, man, nobody ever worked so hard to get killed in 2 seconds than that guy. And her boyfriend went, I never saw this movie before. Totally ruined it for him. But I'm like, I couldn't imagine a person not seeing The Shining.
Yeah, what's the spoiler limit? I would feel that like
30 plus years.
30 years is.
If you haven't seen it by now, shame on you. So that's like a family thing now. They all bring up the fact that I screwed that movie up. But I'm like, it really wasn't, because you still had, there was more to go.
I can't believe Bruce Willis was. No!
By the way, did you know Frankenstein died?
So The Sixth Sense is not on this list.
No, because I hate The Sixth Sense.
You hate that movie?
I went to see this with my friend Mike, who is Mick Chella in Swamp Monster Massacre. And I remember we went, did we do a double date, or it was just my wife and him? We walked out. I looked at him at one point, and I'm going, I know he's dead. So I don't want to sit through this. You want to smoke a cigar? So we got up, we went Rybrook, and as we're walking out, I go, Bruce Willis is dead. Bruce Willis is dead. And we went out and smoked cigars for like an hour. Like, we knew very early on. And when people came out, I was like, did Bruce Willis, was he dead? They're like, you're the guy?
You're a dick.
I thought there was going to be a fight. But I wanted to smoke a cigar more than I wanted to watch that movie.
I really like that movie.
Yeah, I'm not a fan.
I thought it was filmed really well. I'd never been in a theater where more tension, like everybody was just on the edge of their seat, and I knew nothing about it. We had tried to go see the Blair Witch Project, and it was sold out. So we're like, oh, let's go see the Bruce Willis one, and that was mobbed.
That was that long ago? 99? Yeah. Oh my god!
And I had no idea what I was in for, and people were just like, you could feel the tension, because that movie. What I like about the movie is there's just times where you're in frame, and the camera will move like a couple of feet this way, and there's like a ghost or something.
Mm-hmm.
So for me, I just really enjoy it. And
I was hankering for a Nat Sherman cigar. I wanted to get out of there, and I was like, "Oh, I know what this is. I'm done." So I'm sorry I don't include that, but
they
whatever.
set the rules that the ghost can't get him in the tent, and then he goes in the tent, and Mishka Barton, who's the
oh my god, that was her.
Yeah.
Oh my god.
That's a really scary scene. So I'm going to throw that on there as a...
I from what I've heard, she's kind of scary in real life now.
Could be.
She's become her own horror show.
So I'll put that as the bonus one, which is a pretty obvious one. But
so you have two bonuses.
Ghost Story.
You have Ghost Story and The Sixth Sense. So there you go. Enough ghost movies to keep you busy for a little while. Now stay tuned, because we're going to do more horror movies you should see before you die in different types of genres.
Next
on Monster Man. Boom!